Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, we are back. Welcome to the lonely road. God damn, it's been a lonely road the past couple weeks. I am finally better from pneumonia and all of that shit, dealing with a death, dealing with everything that's gone on. It's been one hell of a month. But there is a final light at the end of this tunnel, and god damn it, it feels surreal. To be honest with you, I cannot wait to share you guys the
That's
ride
awesome.
and everything else.
That's so
But
exciting. It's
if
exciting.
it can happen for me, all of this shit that's about to happen, it absolutely can happen for you. We are here to help you guys with your journey to be able to get through trauma, dealing with all of this shit that nobody genuinely knows how to deal with. And you know, I'm so happy to be back. I'm happy to be back in front of a microphone and not feel like my head's going to fucking explode.
I bet.
It is it's nice being back at least 85, 90%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It's always nice to be able to come back from a couple of the ups and downs that life brings you. That's for sure.
Yeah. And goddamn it is fucking swinging and I don't understand. I do want to put something here at the beginning. Depending on what happens, I'm not saying that this is a guarantee or anything. We might just change the plan if we decide to do something and things happen. But we might be releasing some level of merch, whether that's a jersey or something for you guys to purchase, where the only thing that we will be reimbursing ourselves is the money to purchase the jerseys or whatever we decide to sell. All of the profit from this will be going to helping somebody in need at this point in time that we're able to find, either you guys suggesting somebody or somebody local to us or something like that. So that way somebody around us can get some help, somebody around, in the world can get some help and stuff like that. And you guys can get a little bit of Lonely Road merch as well. KJ, how have you been?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. I've been doing okay. It's been a long couple weeks. Indeed. Um TikTok's still on, so I didn't have to pivot like I thought I was
Weird.
going to have to pivot. And things are the algorithm's kind of different over there now. So I'm pretty much happy staying there, but I'm still going to grow the YouTube and I'm going to still
Yeah.
do
Even
the
if you're just cross posting.
back post
Facebook,
on, yeah.
Facebook, hi, you motherfuckers. You guys have been doing things for some reason.
Hi, Facebook. Yeah, absolutely. I think that we both did a number of invites on Facebook, and it's just kind of been growing since then. I think we found an algorithm out
Yeah.
there, and I don't see much of this type of content on Facebook, so maybe it's picking up.
Well, a lot of it isn't raw. Nobody's having raw emotions or not a doctor, and everything that they're saying or feeling is so like regimented into like having to say it a specific way. We're not physicians. We're not trauma specialists. We're not fucking psychologists. Anything that we do is completely our opinion, and we're not telling you to do it. If you want to do it, it's completely your own choice.
Oh
But
yeah, we're not medical professionals at all. I'm not near a medical professional. I know a lot about some things, and I know a little about other things, and I'm worthy of learning the things that I don't know, but definitely don't know much of anything about anything at all. As I've said in the past, am not the most adulty adult in Adult Town.
I'm definitely not.
No, but you know
Definitely
what?
not.
It's getting there. I mean, it's getting to the point where Jesus. I mean, I'm 50 years old, so it better be. I better have some responsibility about me at this point. But no, I've definitely uh, uh, found my spot in life, and just found um, a purpose that I didn't realize, and just a peace. I've
Yeah.
come to a peace, and it's nice.
The weird place that I've somehow fucking found. I still don't understand it. And it was even shown today. We were telling my mom the good news that I just told you. And we gave her a little bit of Joshua's ashes in an urn for her neck. It was a
Oh,
necklace and stuff like that. And you just you watch everybody kind of rally around you, and it's just a weird kind of situation. And it's like, She keeps saying, well, if you keep putting in good into the world, it'll come back at some point and everything else. And it's just starting to swing, whether it's people coming forward with information or things that have happened or just positive things that are fucking swinging. And I don't understand exactly where they're going to go, or everything that's kind of happening, even when things are fucking bleak and down. It reignites that light or that fire that you're just like, everything can be okay. It finally can be. And the place that all of these people around me are putting me at the way to lead everybody out of all this shit is the weirdest fucking thing in the world, and I don't understand it. I don't understand. I've been asked by so many people and so many, just like asking information or asking how to do this or do that, and just how to get out of this. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm not out of it yet. Like, follow me, okay? Like, that's all I
It's
got.
easier.
I might fall,
It's
but
easier to. Yeah, it's definitely easier to see a situation when you're not in it. It's easier to see it from, 10,000, 30,000 feet, from a bird's eye point of view. And it's better to take a look at it from anything from a bird's eye point of view so that you get all the information in and you can make the best decision for you.
Mhm.
The more information that you run from, just like anything else in life, the more it's going to catch up with you and the more you don't know when you're making these decisions.
Yeah, and it's weird. I felt so based in this place. Not just like this house, but like this town, this county, and everything else. And I feel when I moved away from here, I was homesick. Like I felt like it wasn't where I was supposed to be. And then a few years ago, I went to buy a house that was, 40, 50 minutes from me. And that house fell through because of extenuating shit. And now all of this falls in my lap. And I'm like, no, this just for some reason feels like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, if it's supposed to be, it will be. I mean, you have times in your life where you feel out of place, and you're not where you're supposed to be. Um,
Mhm.
and you can definitely feel that in the core of your being. It's
And like
definitely something that you notice.
something weird with that I learned was homesick is not just a location. It can be a
No,
person. It can be a fucking romanticized idea you have of something. It could be somebody just giving you a fucking phone call and it all goes away.
no, it's
Like
whatever
there's
you
so many,
find comfort in.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it's so weird.
absolutely. Like my homesickness is well, I mean, it's complicated in many multiple layers, but I mean, one of the first homesicknesses that I can remember is going away to college. Your mother brought me out there. Your mother's the one that took me out there for my first time out at college, and I begged her to take me home. I didn't want to stay, and it was really earth shattering. I would come home on weekends. I didn't want to be away, and
Well,
yet I moved away.
you see that even with like more exaggerated people like my sperm donor of a father. He would go away to the military, and within the first week, he was bawling his eyes out, crying in his cot, saying, "Can I go home now, please?" Like it hits everybody. Like even shitty fucking people, even people that like can't even put their life together. Like that homesickness, whatever that is, kind of hits everybody at some point in some way, and
If you're
it's a
able to
fucking
have
drag.
feelings and you're able to work through some kind of feeling and you're not a complete narcissist void of feeling and emotion, then yeah, you're going to end up feeling that at some point in your life, whether you recognize what it is or not. Um, then it's crazy how it all comes together because you feel homesickness and then you go home. And in my case, I just left again. And I left for a long period of time the second time, and I went out to Salt Lake. And it was the worst homesickness I've ever felt. And I still stayed through it.
Yeah, and those are those memories of you coming back and us going to get you from the airport and stuff like that, those first hugs and everything else were some of the greatest feelings I remember feeling
They
because it's
were.
just like, it's just for some reason, there was some reason me and you were connected in the way we were.
Mm,
Just
yeah,
watching what we're doing now makes all of the sense in the world.
it
But
does.
like, there was some reason that, it lightened the mood when you came. It
Yeah,
was it brought back the fight to whatever the situation was going on is going on, regardless of how shitty everything was or anything.
yeah.
It was KJ's coming. Everything better get put back together because shit's gonna get real.
Well, hold up.
It was one of the most surreal things in the world. Just like that smile that you had when you got off the plane, or that smile when you walked through the terminal. Like, you could see that you were, not only were you excited to be there, but you were feeling relieved almost.
It really was. My homesickness was relieved.
Yeah.
And then when I left, it would be like a traumatizing situation. I didn't understand it. But now I can't understand why I did it over and over and over again. And
Yeah,
again,
I remember asking you, like, "Why are you gonna leave?" Like, I think we were sitting at that ice cream place that's next to the prison.
yeah,
Me and you were sitting there at one of the benches. I think it was one of the times Summer came with you. And, I asked you, I was like, "Yeah, why do you just keep going on this cycle of leaving and then coming back and then leaving and coming back? If you wanna be here so much and, like, you don't own a house or own anything drastic, like, what's holding you back from doing what you wanna do?" And that was one of the hardest things, like, to watch, because as a kid, you're told as an adult, you can do whatever you wanna do as long as you don't have anything holding you down. It didn't make sense to me.
yeah. It does make sense to me now. Why I went through with a lot of the things that I went through. I think I was afraid of, honestly, I was afraid of failure. There was somebody in my life that was telling me that I couldn't make it,
Yeah.
that I couldn't do it. So I
A
think that a lot of it was staying and doing it to prove otherwise.
and I don't wanna validate that person, but I do wanna give some sort of light as a dad to, like, just be the person that, like, kicks those feelings of, like, you can't do this on your own, stop shoving your head up your own ass. Because, like, as a dad, you see that a lot. You see it as a parent, you see it as a grandparent. You're like, "Stop shoving your head up your ass, and please just see what I'm trying to get you to see. You
Yeah,
don't have to do this alone."
right. And
And
I think,
forcing yourself to do it alone isn't what you have to do.
yeah, it was crazy because my mom was telling me just that. You don't have to do this. You can come home at any time you want. Just tell me. You can come
Yeah.
home at any time you want. And she just kept telling me, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I don't know. Um, Looking back at the situation, it was honestly running, trying to run towards validation when I needed to look inwards for that validation.
Yeah. Like, I remember I was, like, 9 or 10 years old, and somebody told me, because I dyed my hair, it was bright fucking blue. Let me be honest with you. It was
Yeah,
like this
it
fucking color.
was.
That, I was just gonna be a punk. I wasn't gonna be able to do anything with my life. That the things that I was headed towards, obviously, you know, aren't positive. And, like, looking back as a dad, like, if you see a kid who's so far in his own head trying to just do things to make himself different, saying that genuinely isn't wrong. Like, if you don't have enough time with the kid to understand exactly where their mind is or stuff like that, it is really hard not to push them towards, "Hey, conform to what life is, and then dictate from there. Don't change everything about your life and then try and conform small things,
Yeah.
because that's never going to work." And it seems like both of those people, to both of us, were kind of telling us the same thing. Hey, just because you're conforming to what your heart and your mind is feeling doesn't mean that you're, Debbie deadbeat down the road who's never going to do anything with their life, and, didn't leave town, didn't meet anybody, didn't do anything. you still could touch millions of people without, changing and drastically changing everything around you and crashing your heart, your mentality, and everything else.
Yeah. I was definitely running, and I was running towards all the wrong things because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I thought I was supposed to get out of my hometown and move and go, you know,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. Looking back, probably for a little while, but I really shouldn't have stayed as long as I did away. And
No,
that, yeah,
I wish somebody with like even my level of intellect was around other than your mom to help you in that situation. Just hey, give it a year. See where you're at, reassess, figure out what you want to do because if this this year gives you a plan of okay, I needed to get away to see who I am or see what I want to do, then come back and see where you're at and figure out what you want to do from there. Think of how drastically different your life is.
yeah. I definitely, I know that there were points where I should have pivoted, instead of continued to push through that or run away from or towards that validation that I thought I needed. Instead of turning and pointing inward. And I think that it was the turning and pointing inward that I was running away from.
I think a lot of that's what homesickness actually
Yeah.
is you're actually running from yourself or that fear that you're not good enough, the fear of you may not live up to other people's expectations or even live up to your own.
Yeah.
That you want to relinquish the responsibility and accountability of who and what you are. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm grasping at straws here and you can tell me. But that's the story of the Lion King. Like it may be stupid in some people's opinions, but Simba watches his dad die after being told like this is all going to be yours. You're going to be king of this. You just don't have to run away. His dad passes away. He runs and goes to butt fuck nowhere, starts 420 blazing it, eating up a whole bunch of roaches and bugs and grubs because Akuna Matata, and gets attacked by his lost, long lost girlfriend who they used to wrestle around and play with each other at like 10 years old. Like, think about that.
Movie reviews by Zach.
But like think about how fucking weird that is and how much it lines up with so many people's life that just runs away from home because they're afraid. They're homesick. They're dealing with a whole bunch of shit that they don't exactly know how to grasp, but they also don't want to give that parent the validation or that grandparent or that family member the validation of like, hey, you may be right. Or you may be right. I need to do this to see if you're right. And then I need you to accept me with open arms to make sure that I'm safe after this. Because I need there's a fucking bone in me that's telling me to tell you to fuck off. And after I tell you to fuck off and I go and prove you wrong, I want to come home. Is
Yeah.
that okay?
Yeah. No, it should have been to me. And it would have been to everybody else, that I cared about their opinions. Um, it's just I don't know. It got to a place of I was gone far too long. There were a few times that I came back, and I should not have gone back. I should not have turned around. I should not have gone back. I should have just stayed, and I should have just built things from where I was. And to be honest with you, I was a fish flopping out of water at those point in time, those
Yeah.
times, those in between times.
You feel lost
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because you're getting a touch of like what you need and what you're feeling you need. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, why do I feel like I have to go back?
It was so it's so surreal to me to look at it from the 30,000 feet that I'm at right now. And n- it's crazy to me that I didn't listen to my intuition, listen to my internal compass. I did not listen at all. And I knew my body was telling me, my mind was telling me, all that depression was telling me when I didn't have depression like that before that.
A lot of it, and this is going to sound crazy to so many people now because they grab onto so much therapy talk, and they grab onto like such a huge level of everybody's just depressed. Guys, you want to hear the big thing? You're probably not depressed. You're probably fucking sad. And those are two very fucking different things.
It's very
Depression,
okay.
and both of them are okay. Both of them, you can heal from. Both of them you can get past. Being sad lasts today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. And the second you change something, it's gone. Depression is you can't get the fuck out of your bed to see what the fuck sad looks like. Saying that you don't have a light in your life is not depression. It's the fact that you don't have a path of what you need to do. So you probably should fix it and enlighten yourself and give yourself a reason to have self-esteem.
There's a lot of things that you can do yourself to mitigate it turning from sadness to depression, because that can very well happen.
Well, and it's hard because they use so many different terms now with manic depressive, uh, you know, clinical depression, bipolar 2 and things like that, with there being so many different levels of this. They are willing to put you at a different level or a higher level of depression because you say it's bad. You should be minimizing how negative your life is. My life is not bad. I just went through fucking hell this entire fucking year. I lost a baby, went through a divorce. I met the girl of my dreams and started building my family and my life back together again. At minimum, every other person would say that year is hell. And I'm going to look at you and tell you that you're wrong, that at minimum, my year was fucking neutral, if not positive, because I have a positive impact on so many more thousand people hearing me, telling me, listening to me be like, hey, you can do this too. You don't have to be homesick. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be tearing yourself apart, and you're not fucking alone.
We've definitely come a long way from the 16-year-old boy hiding himself in his room, um, to the man who just lost a baby boy and started a podcast a couple weeks later, to help other people. It's a complete transformation in the way you're looking at life, and you're understanding that a lot of the things that you do and the steps that you take in life are dictating that happiness. It's the
Yeah.
endorphins. You give yourself the endorphins, but you can't give yourself the negative endorphins, or you're going to end up down that negative path.
And it's like everybody will tell you if you shut out the negative completely, if you don't accept that it's there or whatever, you become narcissistic, you become selfish, you become all of these negative things. Why is seeing the world as okay, the world is an innately negative place, but I add positive to it in every single possible way I fucking can. And guess what? I'm going to make sure that every single fucking thing that I can do for every single person around me is as positive as I can make it. Even if, we're eating dog shit tonight, I'm going to make that the best fucking dog shit anybody's ever eaten in their entire fucking life. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't turn the light on what the fuck you're dealing with, then throw the fucking game out and start again. Like there is a fucking light in every single fucking room for a reason.
There are totally changes you can make in almost every situation, that can change your move the needle just a little bit at a time. You don't have to make monumental changes all at one time. And I think that's where I was stuck in a lot of ways, in throughout life, in wanting to make changes, is that I wanted to do it all and I wanted to have the results like
Yeah.
now. And it just doesn't happen like that all the time.
And like that 14, 15-year-old boy that you're talking about, and comparing it to me now. I was suicidal. I was told that anytime that I was confident in myself, I was an egotistical bastard. I couldn't put, like, the context of what life is or even be happy about something I could do or intelligence-wise because that was ego, and it's like, no. Having an ego and knowing that you can do right or knowing that you're doing the right thing and you're going to do everything to make everybody else better around you is not fucking ego. It's confidence, and confidence isn't fucking bad.
No, it's not bad at all. You have to couple it with the amount of humility that you need in order to, you know, salt it in there and make it palatable. Just like that, if we have to have a shit sandwich, you're going to make it the best shit sandwich that you've ever made.
Mhm.
The confidence has to be coupled with the amount of humility and empathy that you need in order to move forward in any positive direction. One too much of one thing is never good, you know. And
Oh,
no,
absolutely.
I don't think it's ego. Confidence is amazing, and I'm definitely stepping into an air of confidence that I don't think I've ever felt before. Um,
I don't
or
know.
at
Did
least in a lot for 13, 14 years.
did I speak about my IQ on the show? Did we have that conversation?
I don't think so.
Okay, so do you remember when I took the IQ test in kindergarten and my mom found out that I was profoundly gifted?
Mm. Mhm.
Did you know that that was like a term of like how much intelligence and IQ somebody has, and not just my mom blanketly saying, "Oh, he's smart." That's like a tier on the IQ scale in between 140 and 169. And I looked at my mom probably like 6, 7 months ago and I was like, "Mom, if you legitimately told me that's how smart I was, and you kept me humble, but like allowed that like confidence in my intelligence go, do you know how far I would be right now?"
I you know, I don't think that that's completely fair to put on her.
Oh, I
Completely,
don't I
you know.
I just remember so often that she would be like, "Zach, you're not always right. Zach, you're not always right." And a lot of the time after a while, she would be like, "Zach, you were right." And I was like, "Okay." Like within our relationship, she considered herself my best friend for quite a bit of
For
that
sure.
time. Like I hit a wall in 8th grade because I couldn't do it all mental math. I couldn't put the logic together and I had no confidence at that point. I just dealt with 2 years worth of like abuse and trauma and PTSD, and then I get smacked in the face in like 8th grade of like I don't care anymore. Imagine how much more confidence I go into those situations with and how much that changes everything. Like it was just weird to me, and it's just like little things like that just like twist the dial of like the person that you could have been.
Yeah. Yeah, had you have thought a different way, had you had one part of your brain not said, "Oh, listen to this voice or listen to this voice or, you know, listen to this person." You know, I would have made completely different choices as well with moving out there or staying out there as much as I did if I didn't listen to certain voices.
Yeah, and it could have been the fact that you had an argument with one of them right before you did it, and you're like, "Fuck you! You said I couldn't. Guess what? I'm going to." And it's just like that changes and pushes you so far because you just want to prove somebody wrong.
And it's just something that I urge people to reconcile with themselves if they're doing something for a reason other than something inside their own self to reevaluate the situation like quickly, because once you get to 50 years old and you realize that that's a lot of the reason why you
Did you do
wasted.
that because you felt you needed to, or because you were running from actual things here?
Yes.
Okay.
Both. Yeah. Both. Yep.
I didn't know if that was like a I'm drawn to do this. I feel like I should do this,
Yeah.
or if it was like I don't know why I can't handle this anymore. I need
Well,
something to completely change. I need to uproot everything. Yeah, I love mom. Yeah, I love dad, but I can't keep looking at these mountains anymore. It needs to change and it needs to change now.
That was part of it. That was absolutely part of it. I was feeling suffocated in the little town that I was in, and I needed to experience something bigger. I was also running away from a few things, um, and running towards, some kind of validation. And I had met Lindy, and she lived
Yeah.
out there, and that was my
Eh,
place to land.
And it's weird. I honestly, I looked at moving out of New York so many times. I've had job offers where, I might end up in Texas or end up here or end up there. And it's just like, I don't know why. It doesn't matter if you're in your hometown and you're like, hey, I feel suffocated. Honestly, it's almost like you should take a fucking dry run at moving 30 minutes down the road
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
and give yourself 6 months to a year to see exactly, like, you have 100 years on this planet. If not, the world changes, who the fuck knows what happens next. But it's like, you have 100 years, giving one to figure out who the fuck you are and changing your surroundings for a little bit,
Yeah.
just to give yourself a new sense of reality, isn't crazy. But
No.
like, making yourself repeatedly do that, I don't understand.
No, you definitely shouldn't follow a path that you think you should because somebody else sets it out for you. So that was me going away to college. My mom wanted me to go to college no matter what. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
maybe I think that, it was a good thing that I did. It's definitely panned out in my life later rather than sooner because I don't think I utilized it correctly. But I followed, it was just the next flow of what to do. And then after that, it was okay, moved back home. And then you get back home and you're still in, you know,
You're still
it's
in
a,
the problems you ran away from.
the
They
first time.
didn't leave. They
Yeah.
didn't change.
No, and they're not
They
going to.
they're festered milk that you left on the floor 6 years ago when you walked away from it. And guess what?
The shit
Nobody
stinks.
fucking cleaned it up behind you, and now it's fucking it looks like shit. It smells like shit. And it
Hmm.
might be the sandwich you're eating tonight because you
Yep.
got to get some humble pie and fix it.
You got to listen to your internal compass. You have to listen to those voices. And that's one of the big things I do now is I just stop. I just stop and I be silent, seriously, and I just listen to my internal voice. And I know all the feelings that I'm feeling from everything having already meant something in my past. And usually the feelings that I'm having go towards that. And it gives me a feeling of positive or negative and, what's going to move forward with it, with, the situation that I'm having. And most of the time, a good 95% of the time, I'm right about the situation. Um, it's very important. It's very important that if you're doing something because of somebody else's voice in your head, you have to pull that voice out by its root as
Yep.
soon as you possibly can muster, looking internally enough to do it. And then you need to point the fingers inwards and you need to do what you need to do
And
to make your life the way you need to make it for you, not that little voice.
both of us, I think, deal with this in the same exact way, and we deal with it in real time, and any creator deals with it too. Is it's not just negative validation, it's not positive validation. Neither one should fucking matter to you. Neither one.
No, you got to validate your goddamn self.
It
That's
doesn't matter what Timmy down the street says. It doesn't matter what mommy says. It doesn't matter what daddy says. It doesn't matter the fucking hobo behind the damn 7-Eleven that's pissing and he has no boot on his one foot. You don't want validation, whether it's positive or negative, from either of them. Honestly, your love in the comments, fucking amazing. Blows my fucking mind. I'm happy I could help so many fucking people. But it does not add to who I am as a person. It can't. Because then I become the egocentric douchebag that none of you guys want to fucking listen to. And we'll pick up this conversation next time. We'll see you guys fucking next. See you fucking later. Bye.